You're tuned to KURY Radio, KURY 912. 912 is the time to talk to you?
I thought it was 9:15.
No, it is 912.
Okay.
We're adaptable.
Oh,
We
good.
change.
I like that.
We're talking about the Outreach Medical Clinic with Father Bernie Lindley from St. Timothy's Episcopal. Bernie, how did the Outreach Medical Clinic, which is having a very special sort of anniversary here, right?
Yeah, it's our fourth anniversary. We're 4 years in existence as of today.
As of 4 years ago, how did it all get started?
Well, we had this woman named Lynn Hart. She's a nurse down at Sutter Coast, and she came to volunteer Trace Cather to kind of start a clinic and wanted to know if we were interested. And I jumped at the chance, of course. I couldn't believe that somebody was actually volunteering to do something without me having to cajole them. I always think that I have to twist somebody's arm in order to make something happen, and Lynn came just showed up one day out of the blue, and I said, heck yeah, let's do this thing. And there was a group of other people that were very interested to be part of that, and it took 3 months of planning is all before we opened. We didn't spend a lot of time trying to figure out all the different contingencies and overthink it. We just started treating patients as quickly as possible.
So once Lynn lit the fire, things got going quickly.
That's for sure.
So let's talk about those first few instances of the clinic. What are some of the things that you found out early on?
Well, at first we thought that we were just going to see a patient, we were going to patch him up, and then we'd never see him again. And what we realized was that they needed a lot more ongoing care than that. That in a lot of cases their health had degraded to the point where they really needed to see a doctor on a more regular basis. And so we would sometimes treat a patient 5, 6, 8 times before we would finally get them, really kind of stabilized. And a lot of times it had to do with respiratory issues, or it had to do with high blood pressure, or maybe it had to do with the fact that they were undiagnosed diabetic. And it took a while to get them back, with lab tests and stuff. KURY Health Network has provided us with some free lab work ever since the beginning, and we've been very grateful for our partnerships with them and for some of the other groups in the community that have been really, really on board with our program.
Did you find any resistance early on? I know you say the phrase, you don't use it in your name, but you say the words free clinic, and people think, oh, it's those people who go to that. It's a drug population who uses a free clinic.
Which is certainly, that's not the case at all. Initially we kind of thought that we were going to be for chronically homeless people, but that's a very small percentage of who our patients are. Most of our patients are people who are just, I guess you would say they fall in like the working poor. They just don't have a lot of resources. They're just one paycheck away from maybe getting evicted from their house, or maybe something similar. Maybe their car breaks down, and there they are, cash strapped, and lack of access.
Not quite to the Medicare level, and certainly in the last few years, the economic climate being cut benefits.
That was a big part of it too. Yeah, the economy wasn't all that great when we started, of course, and it's getting a little better now. But still, the Oregon Health Plan just wasn't really enrolling people. We're not talking about people who are disabled. We're talking about people who are out there. They have families. They got jobs. They just can't afford $350 to go to the doctor and have some lab work done and get a prescription that's going to cost another maybe $120, or it's very cost prohibitive for somebody that doesn't have insurance, and a lot of people don't have insurance. That in our local residents, people who live in Brookings, we've treated over the 4 years 1,500 people who live here locally. Now we've also had some people, like 10% of our patients come from outside of the area. They're maybe live in Gold Beach, or maybe they live, maybe they're just passing through, perhaps more. They're on the job hunt, and they're coming through Brookings, and they keep going, still looking, and they're going somewhere else. But so total patient number is somewhere north of 1,700 people, but 1,500 just locally. Out of a population, I figure our population is 14,000 people in our zip code 97415. So that's a significant percentage of the people who live here. So we're not talking about chronically homeless people. We're not talking about people. We're talking about hardworking people with families. And, you know, one thing that's interesting too is oftentimes we're talking about women in their 50s, people who have been healthy up until now, up until they, you know, there's like this tipping point where you especially see that in men where they're, you know, all through their 20s and their 30s, they're all really healthy, and then pretty soon life starts to catch up with them by the time they get to be in their 50s.
You're looking at me like an example, Bernie. No, I'm feeling, I hit the big 6-0, and I'm suddenly, it's like, yeah, the aches and pains that used to be shrug them off are not easily shrugged anymore.
Well, you know something, you know, when you get to be in your early 60s and you don't have health insurance, you're counting the days till when you turn 65 to get Medicare. It's kind of like getting to Medicare is like winning the lottery in a lot of cases. You know, for my own father it was like that. But, you know, that's not the way it has to be now. Now low-income people can get on the Oregon Health Plan relatively easy, and that's our emphasis now. We're trying to make sure and get people signed up for the people who qualify, and all of our patients do. Trying to get them signed up on the Oregon Health Plan. It's been quite a process for us to become a community partner with the Oregon Health Authority. We've finally gotten those hoops jumped through, and so today will be the first day that we'll be able to access the portal for Cover Oregon, which means we'll be able to sign people up in real time. They'll know at the end of this, and I think we don't know yet because we haven't had a patient to actually sign them up for Oregon Health Plan online. We've been doing it through paper copies up until now, but we're hoping that today we're actually going to sign. This is our goal for today. Our mission, should we choose to accept it for today, is to get a person signed up through the portal on the Oregon Health Plan, where I expect it'll take like 10 minutes, and at the end of that session, they will have their insurance number. They'll be enrolled, and they'll be confirmed that they are recipients of the Oregon Health Plan.
Now, one of the side effects, or the direct effect, and a good direct effect, is that the outreach clinic mission is actually one that it has changed. And we saw that first, that the outreach clinic was every week. Then it went to every other week, and
now we're the first, second, and third Tuesdays, and we'll be like that at least for the next 2 months. But you're right, that's the thing, is that we've seen a decrease in the number of our patients that are, it used to be that we'd have somewhere between 18 and 25 patients. Oftentimes the provider would have to see maybe 15 patients per Tuesday from the hours of 1 to 3, or 1 to 4. In that little 3-hour window, the provider would have to treat 15 patients. Well, now and then the other patients were coming in for refills or to review lab results, and maybe they were coming in for...
what a busy time.
Yeah, lots of, you know, they were accessing a wide variety of our different services. And then we used to have our dental van as well, and we used to be signing people up for that, and now we're not doing the dental van anymore because on the Oregon Health Plan, there is a dental practice here in town that takes patients for that. And so we're actively trying to put ourselves out of business by signing people up on the Oregon Health Plan, and so far we've seen some results of that, where we're down to, like last time we were open, we had maybe 6 patients. So we're seeing a decrease in what people need from us, but that's not really going to be a problem because we're just going to morph into a new mission. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, and it's going to take months before, you know, we really make the transition fully. But, you know, some of the goals that I have has to do with finding housing for the homeless. You know, I put that in, there was a Faith Forum article in Saturday's KURY Coastal Pilot that I had an opportunity to write, and I talked about how I would like to see more people find homes, people who are chronically homeless find housing, and, you know, stabilizing people's lives. You know, mental health is a real big issue for me, and oftentimes people who are chronically homeless have you know, mental health issues that need to be addressed. My opinion is that to stabilize somebody, if they have a home, how do you take your medication if you don't have a medicine cabinet to keep your medicine in? How does that work? You know, if you have a medicine, I mean, it seems to me there's basic things that need to happen before somebody can really have a consistent regimen in their lives that involves, you know, taking their medication and then being on the Oregon Health Plan, where they see their doctor on a regular basis, where they monitor, you know, the levels of their medication, you know, in their bloodstream, and all the different things that